Okay, I think it's already started recorded. Okay, so good day everybody. So today our focus is mainly to discuss what you need to prepare for the upcoming online quiz 2 for economics. Okay, so let me share the screen of the PowerPoint slides with you. I think I'll just off my camera so that now will not disturb our conversation. I'll just temporarily off my camera. So can you see the PowerPoint slide on the screen? Okay, Alvin, you want to say something? So far so good, Okay. Okay. So the online quiz 2 will be scheduled on the 2nd November, which is Monday. 2nd November is Monday. And the quiz will be open for the student to attempt start from 4 p.m. Malaysian time. In fact, the duration of the quiz is only 30 minutes, but because some of you may have technical issue or some other problems, internet access issue, that's why you're allowed to attempt the quiz within 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Malaysian time, but you're only allowed to use 30 minutes only to attempt a quiz. Okay, so for instance, if you start to attempt the quiz at 4:20, let's say 4:20 p.m. on Monday, all right, then you'll be allowed to occupy the time until 4:50 p.m. on the same day. Why? Because after 4:50, the system will auto log out you from the system to continue to complete the online quiz 2. Okay. So far, any question on the time to attempt the quiz? Because I think during the quiz 1, quite a number of students asked me, whether it's 30 minutes or 1 hour. Okay, in fact, it's only 30 minutes. The quiz is only 30 minutes. But you are free to start to attempt the quiz either at 4 or 4:10, 4:15 or 4:20. So the final time for you to enjoy the full 30 minutes to attempt the quiz would be 4:30. No matter how, you have to start at 4:30 so that you can enjoy full 30 minutes of attending the quiz 2. Okay, any questions so far before I proceed to the next slide? So far okay? So far so good about the time of the quiz? Okay, if you got any problem, you can just email me personally. If you got any doubt on the time to attend the quiz, you still can email me after the meeting. Okay, if no question, then I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so as the same as the online quiz 1, in the online quiz 2 also will have these instructions appear in the online quiz 2 as well. So for attending the quiz 2, you must get ready a calculator. Okay, you must have a calculator this time. Must have, because you may need this calculator to calculate total cost, fixed cost, variable cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost, marginal cost. So you need a calculator. Okay, for type calculator, you need to use any calculator as long as you are familiar with the function of the calculator. Try to avoid to use handphone. You may use handphone, but try to avoid. Use the ordinary calculator. You can use any type. All right. And this quiz will worth 10% of the overall marks for the entire semester. 10% for one quiz. Okay. And the quiz will consist of 15 multiple choice questions only. 15 multiple choice questions only. Just like quiz 1. So each question consists of 4 options for you to choose: A, B, C, D. So you choose the most appropriate answer that you feel that is the most accurate one. So after attending the 15 questions, then you need to click on the submit button on the canvas in order to submit the quiz. All right. And what other chapters will be covered? Okay. In short, there are only 2 chapters will be covered for quiz 2. which are the production costs, and also got the market structures part 1 and part 2. Okay, so in fact for quiz 2 has the least coverage of chapters compared to quiz 1 and quiz 3. So quiz 2 is more easy to score, in fact, because only a few chapters been covered. Okay, which are the cost of production and market structures part 1 and part 2. Okay, I stop for a while. Any question regarding the coverage of chapters? So far so good. Okay, yeah. And okay, before I proceed to a summary for each chapter, probably okay, you can refer to the practice exercise 2 that I already made available yesterday. Yeah, you can try to attempt the question as many times as possible, because this practice exercise question can help you to do revision. Okay, and the marks that you get from the practice exercise 2 will not be counted in your overall entire marks in this semester. So how to attempt the practice exercise 2? Okay, you can go to, okay, I'll show you the screen now. I'll share the screen now. Okay, you have to go to Canvas again. Okay, and I think I'll use the student view so that you can see the whole thing better. I use student view. Okay, so as a student, you can click on the syllabus button, which is on the left-hand side of the panel control, right? Which is under the announcement. Click on the syllabus. So the first part of this is the course syllabus, the UNIA Online. Okay. Second section is the course summary. So if you want to try the practice exercise 2, okay, you can just click on this. Okay, so the instruction will be the same, and then it's also inform you that this practice exercise is not counted in your final grade. So you can try as many times as possible. Don't worry, it's for you to practice. The assignment was locked. Okay. Okay, I try to open now. Let me go up first. Leave the student view. So this one, I'll change the due date to December 31st. Okay, so let me go back to the student view again. This time we should be able to access the practice exercise 2. Okay, we go to syllabus. Okay, I go to student view first. Then go to syllabus. Then choose practice exercise 2. Okay, so before you attempt the practice exercise 2, probably you can read through again the instructions given. Okay, the instruction will be the same as the online quiz 2. Yeah. So after reading the instruction, I agree with this. Okay, then you can click on the begin button. in order to start to attempt. Okay. So let's try question 1. If a firm decides to produce zero output in the short run, its cost will be, okay, zero output, huh? So that means in the short run, it's still, don't forget, in the short run, we still have the fixed cost, all right? So the firm still need to pay for the fixed cost, huh? So answer is fixed cost, even though there is no production, zero production, but still need to pay for the fixed cost in the short run, for a firm. So answer is second option, right? So you continue answering the 15th question. Okay, when you answer the first question, right, if you tick the answer, you may find that actually for this box number 1, the dot is no longer there. Okay, so let's say now I want to try question 5. Okay, so you can just click on this box in order to go to question 5 and answer the question. So continue answering all right? Then after, okay, you are happy with the answer, then you just need to click on the submit button to submit the answer. Okay. So any question on how to attempt the practice exercise 2 or quiz 2? The system will be the same, all right? The way to attempt the quiz 2 and practice exercise 2 will be the same. Any questions so far? Before we go through the summary of production costs and market structures. Any questions so far? I stop for a while. Any question that I would like to ask? Okay, we have 45 students now. So far so good, huh? Okay. If not other question, then you probably can go through the summary of each chapter. Okay. So for the online quiz 2, what you need to focus in order to score good result. Okay, I try to share the screen now for the PowerPoint slides. Okay, so we start from the production cost. So if you want to do a revision, this slide is very important. This slide is very important. So in the short run, in order to run a business or operating a business or production, right? So what are the costs occur? Can anybody tell me? In order to do a business or operating a business, what are the costs that occur in short run?
Fixed costs.
Correct. Yeah, fixed costs and also
variable cost.
Yes, good. Variable costs. Fixed costs and variable costs will be occur in short run, right? So if you sum up the fixed cost and variable cost, you'll get the total fixed cost. So fixed cost is the cost will happen no matter how many unit of production occur in the company. The cost will be the same. Okay, it will be consistent. As a result, if you, I think I don't have the information here. Okay, I have to use another slide, the PowerPoint slide from this chapter. Okay, let me go to the chapter. This diagram is very important. The fixed cost curve, the variable cost, and also the total cost curve is very important. So let me share the production cost chapter with all of you. Okay. This slide is from your chapter 5, production cost. So fixed cost is always horizontal. Okay. For the fixed cost curve, the x-axis is the quantity of output, or we call it as quantity of production, output. And the y-axis is the cost, is always in dollar unit. Okay. So you may find that before the company start producing any product, zero product, you may find that the cost already happened. Okay. The cost already happened. And when the company increase the number of production, the fixed cost is still remain the same. Okay, always remain the same. That's why it's a horizontal curve. Can anybody tell me any example? Okay, so the example of, since it's already there, example of fixed cost will be like land. Okay, capital means the big machine to produce the product, big machine, right? And also the permanent staff. Permanent staff here are usually refer to the owner of the, and also the owner of the company that will receive the fixed salary. Okay, so these are the fixed costs. So that means that before starting the first unit of production, this cost will already happen, has to be paid already, for land, for capital, for the entrepreneur, and also. All right, so these are fixed costs. Okay, and on the other hand, variable costs are the costs that will change when the unit output level increasing. When the output increasing, the cost of production will change, and this cost is called as variable cost. Okay, so the example of variable cost will be like raw materials, wages to employ the part-time staff only. Cost of power means the utility, electricity, and also the water bill. When you want to produce more product, that means more water also maybe I record as well, in order to produce Coca-Cola, for instance. Transportation cost, maintenance cost, and these are variable costs. So you may find that variable cost is a outward sloping curve, right? Outward sloping curve. So that means when output, the variable cost also. So that means there is a positive relationship between the quantity output and the variable cost. Okay, it's a positive curve. So if you sum up the variable cost and the fixed cost, you'll get the total cost. Okay, total cost is the sum of fixed cost and variable cost. Okay, so you may find that, right, the total cost is also outward sloping and is parallel with the variable cost. Parallel means same pattern. You see, same pattern, right? Parallel. And the distance between the total cost, variable cost would be the fixed cost. So the difference is the fixed cost. Okay, let me try to draw the insert the shape, right? So the distance here between the TC and the VC actually is the fixed cost. And this distance you may find that actually is the same as the distance of fixed cost. I try to draw another one. Okay. So the between these two will be the same, and this is called as fixed cost. I put FC, okay? This is also FC, okay? So far so good. Any question related to the relationship between the fixed cost, variable cost, and total cost? Are you okay with these three variables? The relationship between fixed cost, variable cost, and total cost. Any question? So far okay, yeah? Okay. If the question is asking you to calculate the fixed cost or variable cost, what can you do is you can transpose the formula, yeah? You can use this formula, okay, in order to get the fixed cost or variable cost by transposing the formula, right? Okay, so if you are using this formula, if you're asked to calculate the fixed cost, for instance, so can anybody tell me how to calculate the fixed cost by using this formula?
Total cost minus variable cost.
Good. Yeah, so it is total cost minus the variable cost. All right. So it's transposing the formula. Huh? This one is orange. Total cost, okay, is using purple. Huh? Okay. So similarly, if you want to get the variable cost, also the same. Huh? Variable cost is equal to total cost minus fixed cost. Okay. So remember, you must know how to use this formula. Okay, to calculate total cost, fixed cost, and variable cost. Huh? Okay, I stop for a while. Any questions so far? Okay, if not, then I'll move on to the average cost. So in order to get the average total cost, what can you do? Let's say we want to get the average fixed cost. If you want to get the average fixed cost, what can we do? What is the formula that we should use? If you want to calculate the average fixed cost, what is the formula?
Average total cost minus average variable
Okay.
cost.
Okay, yep, can. Okay, yep, correct. So that means you want to use the ATV, ATV minus average ATC, okay, minus the average variable cost. Right. Can. So that means is you are using this formula. In fact, because we know that for average total cost, we know is equal to average fixed cost plus average variable cost, right? So this formula actually is derived from here, yeah. So because we know that average total cost is equal to average fixed cost plus average variable cost. So you can transpose the formula in order to get the average fixed cost by transposing the formula. Okay. Okay. Besides using this formula, is there any other formula that we can use to calculate the average fixed cost?
Total fixed cost minus quantity. Divide quantity.
Correct. Yes. So good. Yeah, very good. So it is the average fixed cost divided by quantity of output. So I just simply use Q. Yeah? Q means the output, quantity output. How many units being produced? Like for instance, for this question, it will be okay. We have 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 10 units. Okay? So Q is stand for output. Okay. So there are two formulas can be used in order to calculate the average fixed cost in this case here. Yeah. Okay. Then how about average variable cost? Also the same, right? So you can either use this formula, transpose this formula to get the average variable cost, right? So the formula will be using ATC minus the AFC. Okay. So depends on the information provided in the question. So this is what the formula can be used, or else another formula is using the total variable cost this one should be total. This one should be total fixed cost. Divided by quantity. Okay. So for total fixed cost, okay, besides using this formula, average total fixed cost, another formula would be equal to total cost divided by quantity. Okay. So any question related to average cost concept? So far so good, huh? Okay. So let us try to check how about the diagram, the shape of each cost curve. Okay. For the average cost, fixed cost, average fixed cost, you may find that actually is downward sloping. It's always reducing when the quantity output increasing. You may find that the average fixed cost is reducing. Why? Because when more output being produced, that means the cost of production can be shared by the output produced. So that means the more output being produced, the cost can be shared by all the output. So as a result, you may find that the average fixed cost is reducing. Okay, average fixed cost is reducing when more output being produced. Okay, then how about the average variable cost? You may find that the average variable cost and the average total cost all are U-shaped. Okay, U-shaped. U-shaped means the average total cost or average variable cost will reducing, okay, to a certain level at this point, okay, a minimum point. Then after certain level of output, the average total cost and average variable cost are increasing. Okay, are increasing again. What is the reason behind that? What is the reason why the average total cost will be increasing after point B? There is a reason behind that. This is due to the we call as the decreasing of marginal returns. Decreasing of marginal returns. This is because after point B, after point B, actually there is not enough machine for the labor to operate the business or to produce the product. Not enough machine. So some of the additional workers will be relaxed. Okay, will be relaxed and not productive in the organization. So this will reduce the is called as decreasing marginal returns, and this only happen in the short run because in the short run the company may not be able to increase number of machine, or we call as the fixed cost in the short run. So if the company increasing production by employing more workers, so this will increase the average total cost and also the average variable cost. Okay, but this is only happen in the short run. Okay, and this scenario is called as decreasing marginal returns. That happen from point B to point C. Okay, any questions so far on this decreasing marginal returns? Are you okay with this concept? So this phenomenon happen when the company has limited fixed cost for the labor to operate the production. Okay, this will reduce the productivity of the workers and increase the average variable cost in the short run. Okay, so far any question on that? As a result, you may find that the average variable cost is U-shaped. Because average variable cost is U-shaped, then this will also make the average total cost become U-shaped as well. So far, so good? All right. Okay, if I draw the average cost and also the average variable cost, how does it look like? Let me try to draw this. Okay, let's say this is the average total cost. I'm not able to copy this. Okay, let's say this is the average total cost. If I want to draw the average variable cost, it will be like this. It's also U-shaped. Okay, but when the number of production increasing, you may find that the average variable cost is getting nearer to the average total cost, getting nearer when number of production increasing. Okay, so something like this shape. It's also U-shape, but the average variable cost, your total cost. Okay.
So can you repeat again? I don't understand.
Okay. You mean for the average variable cost and average total cost, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I try to repeat. Okay. Let me try to draw this again. I try to use another slide. Okay. Okay, let me try to draw the average variable cost first. It's a U shape. Okay, so I name this as average variable cost. AVC. Yeah? So now let us try to draw the average total cost. Okay, average total cost is also a U shape. Okay, so it will be like this. Start from here. I use other color better, right? So that you can see the whole picture. Okay, so you may find that when the quantity output getting more and more, you may find that the average total cost is getting nearer to the average total cost. Okay, this one I give another color for this. I use this color. Okay, draw for one more time. Okay, so it's also U shape, but the average total cost now is very near to the average variable cost. Okay, this one, this line. And then I can name this as average total cost. So something like this, okay? Yeah, so this will explain the total average cost, total fixed cost, and the average fixed cost would be like that. Average fixed cost, if I want to draw the average fixed cost, would be like so I can name this as the average fixed cost. Okay. So any questions so far on this? The average variable cost, average total cost, and also the average fixed cost. So far so good, it's slightly I agree, but hopefully you can understand this. You can refer to this diagram, this diagram is from here. Okay. Okay. then the next cost will be the marginal cost. Marginal cost means the additional cost occur with additional unit of output. Okay, this is the additional cost for producing additional output. So what is the formula to calculate the marginal cost then? So marginal cost, you have to remember the formula. Formula is equal to change of total cost divided by change of quantity. So we can simply use one example again. Let's say the company would like to increase the production from 5 to 6 gallons. Okay, at the 5 gallons of production, the total cost is $26.2. And if the company would like to increase to 6 gallons, the total cost now will be $28 per hour. Okay, so if you want to use the formula to calculate the marginal cost, the change of the total cost will be how much? You have to use 26.2 minus, you have to use the big number minus the small number. Okay, so 28 minus 26.2 is equal to 1.8. Then how about change of quantity? Change of quantity is using 6 gallon minus 1 gallon. So it's 1 gallon difference. So 1 replace to the denominator. So simplify, you get $1.8 per hour. So this is the additional marginal cost occur for 1 unit of additional production. Okay, so far any question on this? So this formula, you need to remember the formula how to calculate the marginal cost. So far so good. Okay, so if I want to draw the marginal cost, how does the marginal cost look like? You may find that actually the marginal cost will cut the average variable cost and average fixed cost at the minimum point for these two curve. Okay, so if I want to draw the marginal cost, I'll start from, I think I have to use other color. I use other color, all right? I use this color, okay? Marginal cost. So if I want to draw the marginal cost, how does the marginal cost look like? You may find that actually the marginal cost, I don't want this color. I want to have the, okay, the marginal cost will cut the average cost at the minimum point of average cost. Okay. After cutting the average variable cost, you may find that the marginal cost will increase, and also the average variable cost will also increase. I want to use other color, okay, orange, and name this as average. This is the marginal cost. So you may find that the marginal cost, okay, will cut at the minimum point of the average variable cost. And there is a very interesting phenomenon. When the MC cutting the average variable cost, the AVC are increasing. All right. Before the MC cutting the average cost, the AVC is reducing. Can you see? Right? The AVC is reducing before MC cutting or intersect the AVC. Right? After MC cutting the AVC, the AVC increasing. Can you see the whole picture? All right. So similarly also, for the average total cost also, it seems to have the same observation. So let's say this is the average total cost. I use purple color. Okay. Okay. So now I want to draw the marginal cost. This one is not so nice. Okay, I deduct this one first so that I can draw another one. I try to reduce this. Okay, I try to draw the total cost, average total cost. Okay, so now I try to draw the marginal cost. This one I use black color. Okay. So how does the marginal cost look like? The marginal cost at first will reduce. All right. And we'll cut the average cost when the average total cost is at the minimum point. Not so nice. Hold on. I choose orange. Okay, so this is the marginal cost, orange color. So you must also found that actually when the marginal costs are cutting the average total cost, the average total costs are increasing, right? And before the MC intersect with the ATC, the ATC is reducing, right? So this concept is very important. The relationship between the AVC and MC and relationship between the ATC and MC, you need to remember. This concept always tested in the quiz as well. Okay, so I stop for a while. Any questions so far on this? The relationship between MC and ATC and relationship between MC and ABC. I copy. So this concept you need to remember. Okay. So far so good. Okay. So in summary, in the short run, these are the costs occur that you need to remember. Okay. So probably in the online quiz 2, you can use this slide. You can refer to this slide. Okay, during the online quiz 2. Okay, so far any question on this, on the short run cost? Okay, all right. And according to economics, in the long run, there is no more fixed cost. All of the costs are variable costs. That means in the long run, the production cost can be adjusted easily by the company. Okay, there is no more fixed cost in the long run. All of the costs are variable costs. As a result, in the long run, total cost is equal to the total variable cost. Okay, no more fixed cost in the long run. But how long is wrong? We don't know. Economists never mentioned to us, but it just mentioned that in the long run there is no fixed cost. This statement is very important. You have to remember. Long run there is no fixed cost because in the long run all of the factors of production, the 4 factors of production can be adjusted easily. Either can be increased, okay, in order to increase the number of production. So there is no more fixed cost in the long run. Okay, so how does the long run average total cost look like then? So actually it's because in the long run there will be different plant size to be produced. So the long run average cost will be the lowest cost of production for each plant size. Okay, so if you link all the minimum cost for each plant size, you may find that this will be the long run average cost. So it's also a U-shaped curve. Okay, it's a U-shaped curve, but now it's wider. It's a wider type of U-shaped curve. Okay, and you may find that actually right from the level of production from this level, let's say to 1 until level 10, you may find that the long run average production cost is reducing. So this phenomenon is called as the economies of scale. Okay, economies of scale. So economy of scale happen when the resources can be utilized among the different branches or the outlets or the factories. Okay, when the number of production increasing from, let's say, level 1 until level 10, you may find that the long run average cost is reducing. So this scenario is called as economies of scale. Okay, this is due to because the resources can be shared among the outlets or the branches or the factories of the organization. Okay, but start from production 9 until production 12, you may find that the long run average cost is consistent. Long run average cost is consistent. Then this is called as constant returns to scale. Constant returns to scale. And start from production 12 until 25. Okay, you may find that the company now is having increasing of long run average cost. That means more average cost occur when the number of output increasing. So this scenario is called as these economies of scale. This is economy of scale. So this happen is because of the management is hard to monitor or to control the resources available. The resources refer to the labor and also the machine. In order to fully utilize the resources efficiently. Because when the company is growing too big, when there are too many outlets for this organization, the resources cannot be utilized efficiently. Okay, cannot switch from one plant to another plant or from one outlet to another outlet. So this will increase the long run average cost. So this is called as these economies of scale. So all these economies of scale only happen in the long run, not short run. Only long run will happen. This is due to management side. Okay, it's because of the management. Okay, if the management can utilize the resources efficiently, and then this will achieve the economies of scale. If the resources cannot be utilized efficiently and incur a lot of wastage, then this will increase the long run average cost, and this is called as these economies of scale. Okay, so far any question related to production cost before we move to the market structure? Okay, so far so good. Okay, then I'll move on to the next chapter. On the screen, Okay, so in the market structure, we have learned 4 types of market structure generally, which are perfect competition, monopolistic, oligopoly, and monopoly. Okay, so what is the meaning of market structure? Market structure actually is referred to the market characteristics of an industry that the firm belongs to. And this market structure will affect how the firms compete among each others in the same industry. Okay, so generally we can classify the firm into different market structure based on 3 characteristics. Can you recall what are the 3 important characteristics that we can categorize the firms into different market structure? Can you recall what are the 3 main characteristics?
Number of sellers.
Correct. So number of firms or sellers in the market. Number of firms or sellers in the market. Yep. Any other characteristics besides number of sellers?
The type of products.
Type of products produced by the seller, right? The nature of the products. Okay, nature of the products or type of products or services produced by the firms in the industry. Okay, how about the third one?
Barrier to entry.
Good, yes, barriers to entry. So what is the meaning of barriers to entry? Barriers to entry means the challenges, okay? Challenges or difficulties for new firm to enter into a market to compete with the existing firms. Okay? Barriers means challenges or difficulties. for new firm to enter into the market in order to compete with the existing firm. Okay. So in the perfect competition, how many number of sellers then? Perfect competition. How do we know, okay, the firm it should be under the perfect competition? What are the characteristics for perfect competition in terms of number of producer or sellers?
Many.
Many, a lot, plenty. Then how about the types of products produced by those firms in the perfect competition? Anybody? What are the products that will be produced by the firms in the perfect competition market?
Standardized.
Sir, things like wheat, crops, agriculture goods, right? Corns.
Yeah, correct. Then this type of products, what is the nature of those products? Nature.
Standardized.
Agricultural products.
Standardized.
Yeah, standardized. What is the words used to represent standardized?
Homogeneous.
And then the words we can use for standardized.
Similar.
Similar or similar. Any other words?
Identical.
Identical. Okay. What else?
Substitute.
Standard means similar, quite similar. Yeah, quite similar products. Yeah. And actually there is a perfect substitution, correct? Yeah, perfect substitution because similar things, similar products. So it's perfect substitute products. Yeah, good. Perfect substitute product, in the perfect competition market. Identical. Any other word? Another word that you can use to describe the nature of the product produced by the perfect competition market? Homogeneous. Remember? Okay, because in the question, sometimes they use the words like homogeneous, standardized, identical, similar, perfect substitute products. These are the words that you have to remember. Right? So this happens usually in the perfect competition market. And usually involve the agricultural products, usually. Okay, like wheat, corn. These are the products which are very hard to differentiate by the customer, right? As a consumer, it's very hard for us to identify whether this is a good quality wheat or corn. It's very hard from the consumer perspective. Because most of the agricultural products are quite similar, quite homogeneous. It's hard to differentiate in terms of the quality of the products produced by the perfect competition firms or the farmers in this case, right? So because of these two characteristics, that means the power for the firm to decide the products is very low. No, I can say that it's extremely no power for the firm to decide the products. Why? Because the products sold are homogeneous or standard or identical. So it's not differentiated. So it's very hard for the existing firm to control the price of the products in the market. So we call this scenario as price taker. Price taker. So all the firms in the perfect competition market, we call as price taker. Okay, they just receive, accept whatever price determined by the market. Price taker. Then how about the barriers to entry? Is that easy for the new firm to enter into the market? Answer is yes. Why? Because the barriers to entry is low. Because actually not really require high technology or huge capital to invest in the perfect competition market. As a result, there is a very low barriers to entry into the perfect competition market. Okay. And how about the non-price competition? No, because what is the reason? Because all of the products are differentiated. So no point to advertise the product, because if you advertise the product, it will incur cost, but you cannot attract more customers to come and buy the products. So no point to use the advertisement to compete with each other in the perfect competition market. Okay. So far, okay? So far, so good on perfect competition market. So there are three things that you need to remember. Yeah, for perfect competition market, there are many firms or many sellers, and the products sold are homogeneous. Right? So because of that, that means like there is no firm in the market can control the price. As a result, all of the firms are the price takers. And lastly, the barriers to entry is very low because not only require technology or huge capital to enter into the market and compete with the existing firms. Okay, so far so good. Okay, how about monopoly? Extreme monopoly. So in the monopoly market, how many producers then? How many firm?
One.
One only, huh? Only one.
Few.
No, answer is monopoly. Yeah, mono means one. Okay, monopoly market has only one seller. Yes.
Like in America, there's like a monopoly in internet service. There's only like two biggest internet providers, and they have monopoly in the entire country. So can't it be more than one?
No, that is not a good example. Then this one should be under the oligopoly market. As what you described, if there are two companies compete in the industry, then this is considered as oligopoly. If only one,
Sir,
then
they
it's
don't
mono.
really compete. They're like they don't cross their borders. Like they divided up the entire country, and like they don't cross their sectors.
Can you repeat the example again? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. What is the company of? What is the name of the company that you mentioned? Can you recall?
Sir, it's scam something. I forgot. I read the article a long time ago, like the research for last semester.
If there are two big companies, then we call this as oligopoly. It should be under here. This one should be under oligopoly market. If there are two big companies compete with each other in the same industry, as what you described, that is under oligopoly.
Okay, sir.
Okay. If only one, then it's monopoly. But it also depends on the country also. It depends on the country, all right? The nature of the country as well. But monopoly is when the industry has only one firm offer the product or service. That is monopoly. Okay. So can anybody give any example? Let's say, okay, what in Malaysia, okay, what company is only having is offering unique product? Or it can be outside the country as well. Any example? Like for instance, like Disneyland Park. Okay, Disneyland Park only allowed to have only one company having the Disneyland Park, let's say in Hong Kong or in Japan or in US. Okay, in one country, only one company will provide the Disneyland Park service. All right. So that means this is the monopoly company. And the product or service produced is unique. Okay, there is no cross substitute, very unique. No other company can duplicate because of the can be due to the legal copyright reserve, due to the legal barriers to entry. As a result, other company cannot offer a Disneyland Park service in the same country due to legal barriers to entry. Okay, so because only one firm, that means like the monopoly firm can decide the market price. Okay, and we call this scenario as market. It is a price maker. It's a price maker. Why? Because only one firm can produce or offer the product or service, and we call this firm as price maker. Okay, so can see the difference here. For perfect competition is perfect. This is the price taker, but for the monopoly market, the firm is considered as price maker. Okay, because only one firm allowed to produce and also offer the product. As a result, has the power to influence the market price. And the barriers to entry is also very high because it requires high technology and also the legal barriers to entry, copyright reserve, right? And so far, we have learned a few types of barriers to entry. Can anybody recall what are the barriers to entry that we have studied so far?
Natural.
Besides the legal barriers to entry. Yes, correct.
Sir, for monopoly.
Ownership barriers to entry. Yes. Monopoly.
It
For
needs to be
monopoly, we have
unique.
learned a few types of barriers to
Right.
entry. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Generally, there are 3 types of barriers to entry. Yeah. For monopoly, it can be due to natural, ownership, or legal. Okay. Natural, ownership, or legal. Yeah. So if the existing company, okay, is already able to produce the product at very low cost and achieve the economies of scale, that means that if the new firm want to come in to compete, right, then they also have to set up the new firm with very low cost in order to compete with the existing company. And this type of barriers is called as natural barriers to entry. Okay, natural barriers to entry means a new firm must in the existing firm with very low operating costs in order to achieve the economies of scale. Otherwise, cannot come in. Okay. So due to economies of scale, this will prevent other new firms to come in to compete with the monopoly firm. So far, okay? And this is called as natural barriers to entry. Yeah? It's due to very low economies, low cost of production by the existing firm that can prevent the new firm to come in the same industry. Okay. The second one is ownership. I think somebody just now already mentioned about ownership. Ownership of resources. Okay, so if a company is able to own most of the resources of production, then this can also prevent other new firms to come in to compete as well. Okay, so one of the example is the DeBay Diamond. The DeBay company is able to control 80% of the raw diamond in the world. Okay, so this will prevent other new firms to compete in this industry. You can refer to the notes again, to our lecture notes again. The DBase is the one of the example that can own 80% of the raw diamond in the world. Because of that, this will prevent other new firms to compete in the industry. Yeah. So lastly, is due to the government regulation, and we call this as the barriers, legal barriers to entry. Yeah, this is due to the government regulation that can be due to patent, copyright, franchise, and also the we call as the public ownership. These are we call as the legal barriers to entry. Okay, so these are the factors that will create the barriers to entry, and this will create the monopoly firm in the market. Any questions so far on monopoly?
Sir, can you repeat
So
for
far,
the
so good, huh?
natural one?
Pardon?
Can you repeat the explanation for natural?
Oh, natural, huh? Okay. Natural barriers to entry happens when the existing firm is able to have very low production costs that lead to economies of scale and prevent new firm to come in to compete. Okay. So natural barriers to entry happens when the existing firm is able to produce the product at the lowest cost and lead to economies of scale. This will prevent new firm to come in to compete. Okay. Like for instance, let's say maybe Sarawak Energy. Okay, let's say Sarawak Energy, yeah. So because for Sarawak Energy, it's already able to achieve to produce the electricity at the very low cost. So if another firm come in, right, this firm also must produce the electricity at similar cost as Sarawak Energy, otherwise cannot compete with Sarawak Energy. Okay, and this type of challenge is called as natural barriers to entry. So far, so good. I think you asked one question. Huh? Am I answering your question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in short, is natural barriers to entry or happen when the existing firm is able to achieve economies of scale that prevent the new firm to set up the business at low cost to compete with each other. Okay. Because if the existing firm is already able to produce the product at very low cost, then the new firm also have to set up the business at very low cost also. Otherwise, cannot compete with the existing firm. And this challenge is called as natural barriers to entry. Okay. And you may ask about how about legal? Legal example will be Disneyland, for instance, Disneyland. Because of the trademark, okay, only one company can offer the Disneyland parts service in a country, yeah, because of the trademark of the Disneyland. So far good, yeah, so far so good. Okay, then I'll move on to the monopolistic market. Right? Monopolistic market. So I'll go back to the slide again. So for monopolistic, the answer is many. Okay, many small firms. Many small firms, but not as many as the perfect competition. This one also many small firms. Okay. But monopolistic has lesser firm compared to perfect competition, but also many, still a lot of small firms. Okay, how about the nature of the product produced by the monopolistic? Answer is the producer able to differentiate the products based on color, quality, brand name. Okay, these are the factors that can be used to differentiate the products. Color, brand name, size, functions, quality. Okay. So because of differentiation product, that means that these firms are able to control the price. Still has some power to control the price of the product they sold in the market. How about barriers to entry? Answer is low. Okay, because not only require high technology. Yeah. So example would be like food, clothing, H&M, Uniqlo are all under here, monopolistic. Okay, and also the fast food retail outlets like McD, Burger King, all under the monopolistic market. Okay. The products produced seems to be not really require high technology or huge investment or complicated machine. That's why it's easy to enter into the market by the newcomers. As a result, the barriers to entry is low. Okay. So because the product can be differentiated, that means the product can be compete with each other through advertisement. Okay, through advertisement. Okay, so let us try to compare the demand curve for oligopoly or the monopolistic market for the industry demand curve and also the individual demand curve. Okay, you may find that actually the individual firm demand curve is more elastic. Okay, is more elastic compared to the overall industry of the monopolistic market. The individual firm demand curve is more elastic. Why? Because actually the consumer can easily switch to another brand of product easily. When the price of one product increasing, the consumer can easily switch to another brand. Okay, let's say this is the brand A, and this is the brand A. Let's say this is the brand A demand curve. Firm A demand curve. So if firm A increase the price, then the consumer can easily look for substitutes and switch to another brand of product easily. As a result, you may find that the demand curve for individual firm is very elastic. Okay, very elastic compared to the overall industry demand curve. Okay, so far so good. Okay, the last market structure now will be the oligopoly. I go back to here again. For oligopoly? Who is the firms in the market? Answer is only a few big firms. Okay, a few big firms in the market. The existing firm actually have big running the business in the big capacity, right? Big capacity with huge capital required and also the advanced technology in order to run the business. Okay, so the example will be like automobile industry, petroleum, oil, stainless steel material. All these are under the oligopoly market because all these industry require huge capital and also high technology to run the business. That's why only a few business or the firms are able to maintain the business. Okay. Then how about the nature of the product? Depends. It can be standardized or differentiated products. For automobile is using the differentiated products. Okay. Automobile is differentiated products. Okay. Some can produce the luxury car, some can produce the petrol saving car, some produce Hilux. These we call as the 4-wheel drive for delivery, huge products for business purpose, or some is used for just like leisure purpose. I can differentiate the products for automobile industry. But for oil and steel, these are standardized products. Okay. Oil and steel are standardized products. So it depends on the industry. Okay, but all are under the oligopoly market. So the main characteristic is as long as there are only a few big firms in the market, then it's considered as oligopoly. Like just now, there is one student mentioned that there are two companies, right, compete each other to get the market share, and then this is under the oligopoly market. Okay. So because of this, that means like the company in the oligopoly market have power to influence the price. Okay, so we can also consider them as the price maker as well. Okay, has some power. How about barriers to entry? Why? Because require high technology to run the business. So you'll find it very hard to come in to compete with the existing firm. Okay. Then how about the non-price competition? Non-price competition can be through product differentiation and advertisement. Advertise the product and also through product differentiation. Okay, there is one very important characteristics for oligopoly market. For oligopoly market, right, you may find that actually the individual firm, this is the individual firm, the market demand is a king demand curve. Okay, king demand curve for an oligopoly firm, for one firm in the oligopoly market, you may find that it's a king demand curve. Oligopoly for an oligopoly, that means oligopoly firm. Okay. So assume that now the market price is at this P level, and the quantity demanded is Q. Let's say here, originally. So if individual oligopoly firm would like to, let's say, increase the price to P1. So I put here P1. Let's say increase to here, P1. If increase to P1, other competitors in the firm will not follow. Okay, other competitors in this oligopoly firm will not follow. So what is going to happen? That means the consumer, okay, the consumer will switch to other firm. Okay, then this will reduce the quantity demanded for firm A. Let's say this is for an oligopoly. Let's say for firm A. So you may find that when the firm A increase the price to P1, other oligopoly firms will not follow. If not follow, that means this will attract the firm A consumer to switch to other brands. And this will reduce the quantity demanded for firm A to this level. I want to copy this. Okay. How about on the other hand, if firm A reducing the price to, let's say, P2. If firm A reducing the price to P2, what is the reaction of the competitors in the oligo market then? You might find the other competitors are not going to follow to reduce, they are going to reduce the price, okay, to P2 as well. And this will create the competition, okay? And the competition, that means that this, because of competition, the reaction that taken by other firms, you may find that the quantity demanded for firm A will only increase a little to here, just a little only, okay? Why? Because other competitors will also follow the reaction to reduce the price. So you may find that the firm A, even though reduce the price to P2, the quantity demand is only increased a little only. Okay, why? Because the consumer from other firms will not switch to firm A, because other firms also reduce the price as well, or follow the same. Okay, so the quantity demanded also for firm A only increase a little only, and make the demand curve at level price P2 is less elastic. Okay, less elastic demand curve, less sensitive. So this scenario is called as the due to the mutual interdependence among the oligopoly firms. Okay, mutual interdependence among the oligopoly firm. So this will make the individual demand curve becomes a king. That means that when the price is increasing to P1, other competitors will not follow. As a result, the quantity demanded for the firm A will reduce a lot. Okay, will reduce a lot. However, on the other hand, when the price of the firm A reducing to P2, other competitors will follow the strategy by reducing the price to P2 as well. All right, and because of that, the quantity demanded for firm A will only increase a little only, and make the demand curve at this price level is inelastic or less elastic. Okay, so because of mutual interdependence among the oligopoly firms, you may find that the individual firm demand curve is a king demand curve. So due to this scenario, mutual interdependence, that means that when the price is below than the market price, other competitors will also take action, respond and compete with each other in terms of price. Okay, this will create the price war, which is not really good. Okay, so in oligopoly market, usually they'll try to avoid to have price competition. Why? If having the price competition, actually all are not going to survive in the long run as well. So it's not really a good strategy for the oligopoly market to have price competition. Okay, so the best way is better use the product differentiation to compete with each other instead of price for the oligopoly market. Okay, so any questions so far about the market structure?
Hi, sir.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I would like to ask if it's hospital that operates, hospital that is competing within the entire Malaysia. are they still in market structure oligopoly?
Or you mean like Timberland and this yeah, the public, or oh no, it should be the private, right? The private companies, right? The private hospital considered as
Yeah.
oligopoly then.
If it's within Malaysia, such as they're in West Malaysia and also the neighboring country, are they still considered oligopoly as well?
It should be oligopoly.
Alright.
Because only a few firms, and then these are big firms, whereby they need to employ the doctors, right? Specialized doctors, and also require advanced technology, the machine, medical healthcare machines to provide the service for the patient. Yeah, so the private hospital service is considered as oligopoly market. Oligopoly, yeah.
If it's within the Malaysia, it's also considered.
Also oligopoly, yeah, because only a few big firms, right? Because all these firms actually require huge capital and also expert of doctors, specialists to run the business. So it's oligopoly.
Oh, all right.
And it's not monopoly because in Malaysia actually there are more than one private hospital provide the similar service.
Yes.
Right? We have Timberland. We have what else? Any other private hospitals we have? The how do you call
KPJ.
that? KPJ, yes, correct. KPJ. More than one private hospital we have.
So
it's oligopoly. If
so
I mentioned about the West Malaysia's big hospital, it's also considered the same, right?
Yes, okay. There's one way for you to also justify whether the firm is under the oligopoly market or not. I can show you another slide. Hold on. I can go back to our market structure last week. Okay. There's another way to justify why the firm is under the oligopoly market. Okay, I'll show you another one.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Good question. Your question is very good. Yes. Yeah, correct. At least you know how to relate to your assignment. Okay, but actually the market structure chapters can help you to relate to your assignment. Okay, it should be under week 7. Yeah, so it's based on, okay, I try to share the screen with all of you. Okay, can you see this one? This PowerPoint slide? Okay, so if you want to identify whether the firm is under the oligopoly market, one way for you to justify is based on this one, the 5-firm concentration ratio. Okay, you check the market share, you need the statistics. Like for instance, let's say this is the market share of petrol retailers in UK. The market leader is Tesco. According to the statistics, Tesco is the market leader, that having 16.2% of the market share. That means the company managed to get 16.2% of the consumers in the UK petrol retailers market. And then the second biggest company is BP, 15%. The third biggest company is 13.4% market share. All right. So if you want to justify whether the petrol retailer in UK is under the oligopoly market or not, you have to sum up the top 5 firms' market share. Okay, that will be 16.2, 15%, 13.4, 11.4, and 10.2%. You sum up. If the market share is more than 50% among the top 5 biggest company, then we can conclude this industry, which is the petrol retailers industry in UK, is having the monopoly characteristics. Monopoly characteristic, and this is based on this one, the 5 firm concentration ratio. Okay, so for your case just now, your question, if you're asking whether private hospital service is oligopoly market or not, what you can do is you can try to use statistics to help you to justify in your assignment report. Okay, so assume that now you want to focus on Malaysia only, Malaysia context, and then you need to identify the market share for the private hospitals. Okay, you have to get the statistics. If not, then you can also justify based on the 3 characteristics. Remember the number of firms. This is the first criteria. Second is using the nature of the products or service produced by the firm. Third is barriers to entry. Okay, so use these 3 market characteristics to help to justify whether the firm of your study is under perfect competition or monopolistic or oligopoly or monopoly. Okay. All right. So there are 2 ways for you to justify. You can use the 5 firm concentration ratio, or you can use these 3 characteristics to justify your stand, okay, your opinion, whether the private hospital is under oligopoly market or not. So based on these characteristics, I try to highlight so that you can see. This one, nature of product, and also barriers to entry. Okay. Use these 3 characteristics to justify why do you think private hospital belong to oligopoly market in Malaysia context. Yes, any other question? So far so good, okay? Any other question? Okay, so last, yes.
Sorry. So if it's healthcare, right, in hospital, do you mostly advertising, right? If it's types to promote our services, it's more to advertising, am I right?
Oh, okay. Can also due to product differentiation. Maybe for that hospital has a very good technology, specialized in heart disease, right? Famous for that type of disease treatment. It's also product differentiation. Okay. Maybe somebody like to go for Timberland because maybe Timberland has very good doctor specialized in heart disease. That's why people want to go there. Through the product differentiation. Or maybe people want to go to KPJ is because KPJ service is very fast, very efficient, staff are very polite. Also product differentiation.
Okay, thank you, sir.
For hospital service should be through differentiation. Through differentiation. By employing more expert doctors who know how to do operation very well, differentiation. Okay, any other question? I think I haven't shared this with you. Sorry, I think I need to share this with you. Okay. I'll share the screen. Okay, so if you want to justify whether the company or your study in your report, your assignment report, whether it's oligopoly Okay, you can justify based on number of firms that offer hospital service in the industry, right? And you can also describe the nature of product or service offered by the firm or among the competitors. Yeah. And the third is describe barriers to entry into the private hospital market, whether it's high barriers to entry or not. And they have to describe if high, then what are the barriers? Can be because of huge capital have to be invested in order to run the hospital business, or because I have to employ famous doctors with huge salary. This is also one of the barriers to entry. Or it can be because require huge investment for purchasing advanced technology to treat the patient, also barriers to entry. Okay. Okay, last part that I'd like to discuss. Yeah, any question? Yes.
So now we are supposed to start writing our report already, is it?
Okay, yeah, because after the market structure chapter, you should be able to start to do your write-out already. But anyway, don't worry, because your tutor is going to provide a briefing again. All right, your tutor is going to provide a briefing on how to write your assignment report.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so it should be after the quiz 2, then tutor will provide some time, extra time. Every class, usually after the tutorial session, you can ask your tutor any question related to assignment now. Okay, any question related to assignment, your tutor will provide you some guideline. All right. I believe you already found your group, right? You already found the group for your assignment, Yeah. Don't worry, we can discuss again. We can further discuss again during the ordinary tutorial time. Okay, for your assignment. Okay, the last part that I want to share with you is about the individual demand curve for each market structure. So we start from perfect competition. For perfect competition, the whole industry demand curve is downward sloping, is follow the law of demand. According to law of demand, when the price of the product reducing, the quantity demanded will increase, right? And vice versa. So you may find that the market demand curve for perfect competition is also downward sloping. This one, the blue one, right? However, how about the individual demand curve? Individual means the individual producer. For the perfect competition, because there are many producers produce the same product, homogeneous product. So as a result, the individual producer has no power to decide the market price, no power at all. And we call this scenario as price taker. Okay, each individual firm in the perfect competition is a price taker. So I use example of agriculture industry. All right. So let's say Parker is a farmer. Is producing wheat. All right. And assume that now the market price now is $4 per bushel. $4. And at the market price of $4, the quantity demanded for Parker is 15,000 of wheat per year, right? So now assume that Parker would like to increase the price. He himself, he would like to increase the price to $4.10. If he increase the price from $4 to $4.10, you may find that no customer is going to buy from Parker anymore. Okay, Parker is going to miss all of the consumer. Why? Because this consumer will switch to buy from other farmers easily. Why? Because other farmers also produce the homogeneous wheat. Same thing, no differentiation. So if Parker increase the wheat price to $4.10, he will lose all of his customer at all. He will get zero number of customer when he increase the price above $4. Okay, so what happened if Parker reduce the price to, let's say, $3.90. That is below than $4. Then if that is the case, Parker is not able to survive. Because if he reduces the price, other firms also reduce. To the extent this will create the price war and the farmers cannot survive at the price below than $4. Okay. So as a result, you may find that for the perfect competition, the individual firm demand curve is a horizontal curve. Okay, horizontal curve. Because the individual firm in the perfect competition cannot control the market price. Okay, the individual firm have to accept whatever price decided by the market mechanism. Market mechanism means the demand and supply. So this one, this curve is the market demand curve. This is the individual firm demand curve. For Parker, it's always horizontal. So far okay for this part, perfect competition. Okay, any question? This is the market demand curve. This one is the individual firm demand curve. Okay, all right. Then how about the monopolistic? Monopolistic has also many firms, but the firm can differentiate the product, right? Can differentiate based on color, quality, brand name, all this. So as a result, right, the demand curve for each individual firm is elastic, very elastic, because the consumer still can easily switch to other firm for substitute products, even though it's not perfect substitute, but can be substituted easily by other firms' product. So as a result, for individual firm of the monopolistic market, the demand curve is elastic. Okay, elastic. How about the overall industry demand curve for monopolistic? Is also elastic, It's elastic as well. But the individual firm has more elastic demand curve. So this one you need to. Then how about the oligopoly market? For oligopoly market, demand curve for the whole industry is inelastic. Okay, inelastic. Overall, the demand curve for the oligopoly market is inelastic. All right. But for the individual demand curve, individual firm demand curve, you may find that it's king shape, king demand curve. Why? Because of mutual interdependence. Mutual interdependence. Why? Because when the individual firm of the oligopoly market increase the price, other firms in the same industry are not going to respond. Okay, other firms in the same industry are not going to respond to increase the price. So this will make the demand curve for individual firm elastic, right? However, when a firm reducing the price of the product below than the market price, then other competitors also follow. Other competitors also follow. So this will make the demand curve inelastic below the market price. And this all have a king demand curve. So overall, it's due to the mutual interdependence. Okay, mutual interdependence in the oligopoly market.
Sir,
Yeah.
which of it is king demand curve? Is it the firm or the individual?
Individual. This is individual. If the whole industry is like that, if the whole industry would be like this. This I move. I try to copy this, right? Okay, for oligopoly, the whole industry demand curve is inelastic because there are only a few firms, all right? Not many, only a few firms produce the products, so not many substitutes. As a result, the demand curve for the whole industry is inelastic, okay, like this. Then how about the individual firm demand curve? Individual in demand curve in the oligopoly market is king shape. Okay, king demand curve for individual firm. Let's say petrol retailer for Shell, Petronas, Essor, right? All these will have the king demand curve. The individual firm, demand curve is king shape. But for the whole industry, demand curve is downward sloping. Okay. So for hospital also like that. For your hospital, private hospital service, for let's say this is for your KPJ, right? KPJ should have the king demand curve as well, like that. Individual firm, right? But the whole industry of the hospital, the private hospital, should be inelastic demand curve, right? Inelastic demand curve for the whole hospital industry. Am I answering your question? Just now, who asked the question? Jun Yuan, right? Or Johanna? Okay, Okay, any other question before we call a day? All right, it's nearly 6 o'clock. Okay, if you got any question, you can just ask the tutor during the tutorial session this week. Right, we still have one session to discuss the market structure tutorial question this week. Okay, all right. So during the quiz 2, if you got any technical problems, all right, or issue, you can contact me. Issue when you attempt the quiz 2, please contact us so that we can help you to solve the technical problem. All right. On the 2nd of November, which is the day of the online quiz 2, I'll send you one more email to attend the quiz. Yeah, because actually I think during the online quiz, one set of the students forgot about the quiz. So I'll send one more email to remind all of you again before the quiz starts. Okay, any other question before we call a day? Okay, 1, 2, 3. No question. All right. So, okay. So thank you for attending the session today, and thank you for your participation, asking question, and respond to my question.
Thank you, Chair.
All right. Yeah. So I will see you on the 2nd of November.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Johanna, okay, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay, welcome, Dania. Yep. Okay, bye-bye.